Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here and welcome to my guide to the Hero's Gauntlet, the latest dungeon added in the patch 5.3 main scenario. This dungeon dropped item level 475 armor and accessories and a possible minion or triple triad card from the final boss. To skip to a specific boss, please use the timestamps in the description of the video. The first few trash packs are pretty straightforward. There's a lot of AoEs from the various types of enemies here, so be ready to dodge, dodge, dodge. Once you've dealt with a few packs of enemies, you're on to the first boss. Boss number 1 is the Spectral Thief. Spectral Dream is a multi-hit tank buster he can use, and Spectral Whirlwind is damage to the whole party. He'll also throw chicken knives at the four corners of the room, and after a short delay, these will fire a line AoE towards a player's location. Just dodge any of the blue line AoEs that pop up. Finally, for generic AoEs at least, he'll place Spectral Gust AoEs on all four party members. Just don't overlap the damage from these, and you're fine. The main mechanic here is Dash. The boss will place one or more markers on the ground and prepare an AoE. After a short delay, he will dash towards the marker and perform the attack there instead. For this, the boss will either do a large point-blank AoE or a line AoE. All you need to do here is just stay away from the markers themselves. For the line AoEs in particular, about a third of the room will be safe. He'll start combining some of his other attacks, specifically Spectral Gust and Chicken Knives, along with dodging some of these AoEs. But it's nothing too fancy, so just keep your eyes open and you should be fine. Now, trash leading up to the second boss is largely the same as the first, but there's a few more allies here to help you out that can be pretty cool. The Don Meg boss actually turns the bad guys into frogs this time, and the Titania adds all help clear out the later packs a little faster. After a bit of fun and chaos, on to boss number 2. The second boss is the Spectral Necromancer. Twisted Touch is her tank buster, and Chaos Storm is her room-wide AoE. She'll also use a large conal AoE called Absolute Dark 2. It's best to stay kind of close to the boss so that's easy to avoid. It's a pretty big cone. She mostly uses her Necromancy skill to summon two types of undead. Standing Necrobomb monsters will chase all four players before falling dead on the ground. After the boss casts Necroburst, they'll explode wherever the corpse is dropped. Just get away from wherever they keel over and you won't get hit. The second type of undead are Crawling Necrobombs. These will spawn under each player, and if they get in range of the player, will bind them in place. They do eventually jump at the player to ensure they get that bind off, but you can delay it by running away. When Necroburst casts, they explode just like any other Necro Bomb. All four players just need to stay away from each other here. The first time you see the Crawling Necro Bombs, the arena will be covered in a bunch of damage over time puddles, just spread out in the remaining open area. There's plenty of space. After showing you both types of Necro Bombs, you'll actually use them both at the same time while also throwing AoEs at the players. The whole arena is pretty wide open here, so just drop the standing Necro Bombs, and as soon as you see their corpses hit the ground, move away to get bound by the crawling ones. Honestly, all these explosions don't even deal that much damage, so if you're at least a little well geared, it's really not a concern unless you get hit by 3 or more. But with that, you're all set. Again, trash leading up to the third boss isn't anything special. I will say that there's a nice Easter egg just after the first gate that gets opened up. Look to the right hand side of the road, and if you're lucky, you might see something extraordinary amongst the Warriors of Light. If not, just head off to the final boss. The last boss is the Spectral Berserker. This fight has no tank busters thankfully, but there's a lot of damage on the party itself from his various attacks. Beastly Fury is just damage to the whole party, pretty standard. The first time he does this though, he will cut the arena into a cross platform, and if you step into the little light portions of the arena that appear at this point, you'll take high damage over time, so avoid being knocked into those. Wild Anguish is a split damage AoE, nothing really special to it. Raging Slice is a line AoE he will turn and use on random party members. This hurts a lot, so you want to be sidestepping this as soon as he raises his sword in your direction. The main mechanic here is Wild Rage. The boss will jump to either the east or west side of the cross on the arena and do a large knockback AoE. Don't get knocked into those light zones in case you forgot. This also creates a giant crater in the ground. If you stand in this crater for too long, it actually causes you to go berserk and attack uncontrollably. But you'll also need to use this to dodge his Wild Rampage attack. When you see Wild Rampage charging, step into the crater, and then when it's finished, step out of the crater quickly. He will use this attack again at low health, creating a second crater, which is at this point just eliminating safe spots for you to actually deal with the other mechanics. The boss's only other attack is Falling Rock. This drops rocks on all four party members and leaves behind rubble in that location. Each player actually needs to stay near their rubble, as the boss will jump to everyone one at a time and do 4 Wild Anguishes back to back. It's just a bunch of damage throughout the whole fight, but other than that, it's not too bad. Right, I almost forgot, before I go to the outro, if you actually have really high DPS on the Berserker, you can actually push boss phases a lot faster than you're supposed to. So you may see them really slow and he may do a bunch of extra AoEs, or he might just be jumping around doing Wild Anguish and Wild Rage over and over again. And that's going to be a wrap to my guide to the Hero's Gauntlet, the new dungeon added in patch 5.3. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and check out the other guides and videos on the channel. With that, I'll see you all in the next video, and until then, take care.